Hello, my dear friends. I'm Professor Vyam Khan, and this is the part 2 of unit number 3 control action, controllers, and electrical system. In previous video, we have studied the functioning of a controller, how a controller works in a control system, and the on-off type of controller which is used for just starting and for turning on or turning off a system or a plant. Okay, we have seen the example of electrical heater, we have seen the example of electrical oven, in which the oven is started on or is turned on when the temperature of the oven is below or above the set point. Okay, as soon as it deviates, is uh, it is away from your set point, the heaters are turned on so as to maintain the temperature in the oven as per the set point. Okay, so in today's video we are continuing the controller part of this unit, and in today's video we are going to study the type of controller. The first type of controller that we are going to study is the proportional type of controller, and then we will be studying integral type of controller. So let us begin. The proportional controllers, the name itself explains a lot of things, because this controller gives output based on a proportion value, or the output is in the form of proportion to the input. Say, all of you know what is the meaning of proportion. Proportion is uh, if I'm doubling the value of input, okay, through something, then if I give input of 1 units, or say if I give input of 2 units and I'm doubling it, then the proportion value is 2, because it's doubling, and therefore the output will be 2, that is your unit multiplied by the proportion 2. So 2 multiplied by 2 will be equal to 4. So that is proportion. Okay, so we are getting the output value in terms of some proportion of input. So that is the function of a proportional controller. Now every controller here is uh, having some purpose. Okay, they are made for some specific use. Okay, and you cannot put any kind of controller anywhere in the system, or you cannot put uh, any controller for another function. Okay, so their functions are definite, and therefore they should be used specifically for the said function. Now for a proportional controller there are two conditions, and these are given below, which are: first condition is the deviation should not be large. That means the deviation between input and output should not be very large. Now what do you mean by deviation? Deviation is nothing but difference between the two values. So your value of input and your value of output should not be deviated in a large number. Okay, you cannot tolerate it. Second condition is the deviation should not be sudden. Okay, so as soon as you start the system, or at any time the deviation is shifting at a large number, it is also not possible. Then if the deviation is sudden, it is also not possible for this proportional controller. So we have to keep these two conditions in mind, and we have to use that particular proportional controller by considering these two uh, conditions. Okay, now let us go ahead. Now we are in a common condition to discuss proportional controller here. As the name suggests, proportional controller, the output also called as actuating signal. Okay, you all of you know what is actuating signal. So actuating signal is directly proportional to the error signal. Now error signal is your input for a controller, and actuating signal is your output for a controller. Okay, so suppose this is a controller, and here will be your error signal, here will be your output. So this is your error signal, this is your actuating signal, and this controller is This controller is controlling the value of this output based on some proportion with respect to this input. Okay, so this output will be in proportion to the, sorry, this output is in proportion to the, yes, what is actuating signal. So your output is in proportion with the input. Okay, now the error signal is directly responsible for the value of your actuating signal. As we know, the proportional controller output is directly proportional to the error signal. It can be written in a mathematical form as below. Okay, so u of t is your input signal, and therefore it will be in proportion to the output signal. Sorry, u of t is your output signal, and it is in proportion to the input signal, that is your error signal. Okay, now if you take a proportional constant here, so this proportionality sign can be, yes, converted into equality sign. So therefore your output will be equal to kp into e of t, that is your ut will be equal to kp into e of t, where this kp is your proportionality constant, or where kp is your proportional constant, also known as controller gain. This kp is also known as controller gain. This kp is also known as controller gain. It is recommended that kp should be kept greater than unity. This kp should be kept greater than unity. It is to be remember that. Okay, so uh, if the value of kp is greater than unity, then it will amplify the error signal, and thus the amplified error signal can be detected easily. Why we are using this proportional controller? Sometimes the error signal is very weak or is in very small quantity, and this value most this small value, or this small deviation, or this small change in your error signal is sometimes left undetected by the plant. Okay, so therefore we need to amplify it, and this amplified signal is then given to the plant, where the plant will take corrective action as per the error signal. So there are some systems like, when I'm saying system, that means it is a plant. So if there are some plants which are not able to detect smaller values of error signal, these smaller values are neglected most of the time, and sorry, not most of the time, sometimes these error signals are neglected by the plant, and this can be avoided by using this proportional controller, where this proportional controller will amplify, will increase the error signal in some multiples, and that will be given to the plant, and hence the plant will detect it and will take corrective action in its output. So therefore this is the use of your proportional controller. Now let us see, if you apply Laplace transform to the both sides, you can get u of s is equals to ep into, sorry, u of s is equals to kp into e of s, where this u of t is converted to u of s, and e of t is converted to e of s, and kp, since it is a constant, it is kept as it is. So us is equals to kp into es will be your first equation. If you take this es on the left hand side, then it will be in the denominator. So u of s divided by e of s will give us the value of kp. Now u of s is nothing but your output, divided by e of s is nothing but input. So output upon input is nothing but your transfer function. So kp is nothing but the transfer function for a proportional controller. So kp will be the transfer function of a controller. Okay, which is also known as proportionality constant. It is also known as the gain of the proportional controller. Kp is also known as gain of the proportional controller. Okay, So U of s here is nothing but the Laplace transform of actuating signal, that is your output. E of s is nothing but Laplace transform of your error signal, that is E of t input, and Kp is your proportionality constant. Okay, you can use this for amplifying the error signal. Okay, now let us see how the block diagram of a proportional controller looks like. Here we have this R of s, that is your input signal. Okay, this is your feedback, this is a negative type of feedback. Okay, now this is your plant which is having gain G of s. Now this is your proportional controller, say this is K, and its gain is given by Kp. As per the previous equation, Kp is equals to U of s divided by E of s. This is your error detector. Now the input signal or set value, the set point will be given here. Okay, the set point will be given here, then it will be uh, compared with this feedback, and based on this error signal will be generated. This error signal will go into the proportional controller. Okay, this is your proportional controller K. Based on this proportionality constant, this will generate some output signal. Okay, and this output signal will be given to this plant, where this plant will take some corrective action and will generate some output, that is Cs. This output is again fed back to the error detector. So if it is okay, as if it is as per the set point, and then this error signal will be zero, sorry, this feedback will be zero. So this error signal will be uh, the value of your set point. Okay, so this is how your proportional controller works. This is the proportional controller. K is called as proportional controller here, or it is also called as error amplifier. Okay, why error amplifier? Because the small errors which are left undetected by the plant are amplified by using this error controller. Okay, so this is about proportional controller. Let us go ahead. Advantages of this proportional controller. The first advantage is the proportional controller helps in reducing the steady state error. It helps in reducing the steady state error, thus makes the system more stable. It makes the system more stable. This is the first advantage. Second advantage is the slow response of overdamped system can be made faster with the help of these controllers. If the systems are if the damped systems are slower, so they can be made faster by using this proportional controller. Disadvantages of this proportional controller are due to the presence of these controllers, we get some offsets in the system. हमको we see some offsets. Offsets are nothing but the kind of deviations. We don't get the exact values, so these are the offsets in the system. Then a proportional controller also increase the maximum overshoot of the system. So they also increase the maximum overshoot of the system. This is another disadvantage of the proportional controller. The main thing that is to be remembered about proportional controller is these this diagram, these values, okay, these equations, and this specific equation of proportionality. Okay, so this is about proportional controller. Let us go ahead for integral controllers. Now as the name again suggests, integral controller means the output will be directly proportional to the integral of the error signal. So error signal will be given to this controller. This controller will convert the control will give us output in terms of integral of the error signal. Now let us analyze integral controller mathematically. Okay, this is the equation of your uh, integral controller. Here u of t again is nothing but your output. This u of t is nothing but output. Here e of t is nothing but your error signal, and it is in terms of integral now. So first thing that uh, you see here is this u of t, sorry, please excuse me, this u of t is in proportion to the integral of your, yes, to the integral of your error signal. So this is the original equation, which is then converted to this form by removing this proportionality sign and replacing it with the equality sign, whereas this k1, sorry, ki is nothing but your integral constant or your proportionality constant here. Okay, so ki here is integral constant, and the equation here is u of t is equal to ki integration of e t dt. The integral controller are also known as reset controllers, okay, because they reset the value, so therefore they are also known as the reset controller. Okay, now let us take Laplace transform of this equation. So u of s will be equal to ki into e of s divided by s. E of t dt is replaced by e of s divided by s. That is the Laplace transform of e of t dt. Okay, integral e of t dt, Laplace transform is e of s divided by s. So if you take this e of s on the left hand side, or in the denominator of the left hand side, this will look like this: u of s divided by e of s, and it will be equal to ki by s. Now this is u of s, that is output, this is e of s, that is input. So output upon input is nothing but gain or transfer function, and the transfer function for Laplace the transfer function for this integral controller is equals to ki by s. Okay, this is the gain of this integral controller. Okay, and which is also known as ki is also known as integral constant. Okay, now let us see it in the form of diagram. Okay, now this is again same, only we have replaced this k of the proportional controller by ki of by ki s. Okay, now this is your integral controller. This error signal will be converted in the form of integral. Okay, and we will get the output as per the gain and the error signal. So this is a block diagram of your integral controller. Okay, now, what are the advantages of this integral controller? Okay, first advantage is due to their unique ability, integral controllers can return the controlled variable back to the exact set point. Okay, in our proportional controller, what happens with the error signal? The error signal is amplified, hence the value, it its value changes at the output. But this integral controller, they have unique ability. They can return the controlled variable back to its exact set point following a disturbance. If there is some disturbance, they can reset it to the set point. Therefore they are also called as reset controllers. Okay, then the disadvantage of this integral controller is it tends to make the system unstable because it responds slowly. The response of these controllers are very slow, therefore they produce a lot of errors. Okay, so therefore most of the times what happens, these controllers, they have some disadvantage, they have some advantages. So most of the time what we do, we combine them and then we use the combination of these controllers like pi, like pd, pid. Okay, in next video we will be studying some more controllers like derivative type and proportional integral controller. Okay, and till then please stay safe, stay at home and keep learning. Thank you.